inhumanity to man. It just shocked us, literally shocked us to the point we couldn't believe what we saw.
At 2 in the morning on Christmas Eve of 1995, my sister and I opened this trunk and took out an envelope. Inside was a small stack of photographs that our grandfather had taken while he was at war. The only light we had came from a small lamp left over from my uncle's childhood. Earlier that day, our grandmother had threatened to destroy the pictures. Slowly and quietly, we laid them out on the top of the trunk, and I used the last roll of film in my camera to make copies. I could barely look at them. They were so gruesome and sad. "16 years have passed since then, but I now have a reason to print those negatives. As a teenager, I saw the horror in the pictures, but I never thought about the man who took them, the young soldier behind the viewfinder, snapping the shutter. My grandfather may be dead, but his pictures tell a story of his time at war. It's a story of mass murder, of a Holocaust and a liberation. It's a story of silence. And once I tried to understand the photos, I realized that it was the story of hundreds, even thousands of others like me. The chaos of World War II is much more than I could ever hope to understand, but I have these 16 pictures, and for me, they're the key to unlocking a family secret that's only ever been told in whispers. Tucked into the mountains of Vermont is the tiny town of East Dorset. The marble quarry here is the oldest in America, and it's the home of Bill Wilson, founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the kind of town where everyone knows each other, and where Memorial Day is celebrated with flags and motorcycles and church services. On Pleasant Street is the house my grandfather built, on a plot carved out of the woodlands where my great-grandfather once tapped for maple syrup. This is where my mom grew up, and we've come to try to untangle the story of the photos. Do you remember Don talking about the war very much?
Not much, no. I do know he would say he was General Patton's driver, and I knew he'd been in concentration camps, but he didn't talk about it.
We talked for a while about family history, but eventually I have to ask about the photos that I shouldn't even know exist. How did you feel when I told you that Martha and I had made copies of them?
Well, by the time I knew that, I was glad, because I knew my mother wanted to get rid of them. And I don't feel they should be gotten rid of.